Transition, the process of change from one condition to another.
We are now at a new crossroad where change is evident once again.
What does not serve us must transform us anew.
Returning to our original state of oneness and true nature of that which created who we truly are.
Confusion was the way of the past. Enlightenment is the way of the now and future, shedding away the layers of deceit.
We now bring you the transformation of the two who started as one. Our fearless planet never stands still.
Earth has been in a process of transition, and we are not exempt from this remarkable ongoing reality.
And hello and welcome to Real Talk with the Cummings. My name's Mark Angelo.
And I'm Lena Ariel. Thank you guys for joining us on this Wednesday
Yes.
evening.
Yes, and it's kind of cloudy. It's been cloudy and cold.
It's been that way, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. But I guess we shouldn't complain because there's places where the weather's a lot worse. So.
Yeah, like 50 below or something.
So to me, it's another day in paradise. The more you awaken, the more you start learning about the truth that is taking place, the more you realize that it is up to you to control your environment. It's up to you to control how you feel and not allow the external things to bring you down. But it's a process. I understand that. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. And there's our favorite moderator. She said, and Tracy Roberts. And those of you that are not signed in or in the chat room, thank you for joining us. Feel free at any time to ask questions, chat, state what you want to say. If you want to call, you can dial in at area code 575, and that's 519-5930. That's one number. And if we need to get two people on, I've got my other number, which is, I don't even know that one. Got
two people.
You know, if I don't know, if there's a party, it's area code 575-265-0538. She always gets confused, but I could handle it. So just, we're good. Anyway, guys, hey, Dottie, thank you so much for joining us. Dottie says, hi, this reminds me of sitting around a cozy campfire with Mark and Lena, sharing and us joining in. Love it and love you all. We love you, Dottie, so very much. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on this evening. I saw you were on in the morning too. Mark has a really cool thing going on in the morning.
Definitely. I love that. I love to be able to exchange me with you guys and go through the whole healing and awareness and really being able to pick apart the things that we need to be observant of and the things that we need to work through to be able to get to the mission, because that's what we're here. We're here for a special mission. And yes, thank you so much. She said, hit the like button, share, subscribe, just let's get this stuff out there so that everyone could benefit from the awakening, from becoming part of the tribe that we are creating here on this beautiful blue planet. Hey, Martin.
Won't be here long, work in the morning. Good day.
Okay, well, just thank you for stopping by. We appreciate your love and your presence whenever you're capable of being here.
Yeah, we love the insight that you have and the perspective that you bring.
Totally.
And stuff. It's really refreshing. It's really good.
So definitely a good thing. So I wanted to share a little something here. Let me minus this. Let me exit here. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day for those of you that like to follow the typical, consumerism type of thing, when you have Mother's Day and Father's Day and this day and that day. I mean, anything to buy stuff, right? There's some people just love to shop and love to buy, and an excuse to be able to do so is always something that the system is willing to provide you. I remember this one movie, They Live, I think it's called, where they had the glasses, and with that glass you could able to see, like, consume, buy this. They've done a great job because a lot of people continue to live in that kind of reality, and no judgment, but that's not going to get it done. That's not going to get the mission going. So let me share this little really cute Instagram. Let me see here. Still trying to get acquainted with this program here, but this was pretty cool. Wait, you guys kind of missed that. Yeah, hold on. Let me rewind because couldn't really see it. All right, let's try this again. The thing is trying to totally get this to align enough for it to be seen. Let me see here. Let's try this again. Candy on the card. She puts out, she's in the zone of eating her healthy food. Heck with a gift. I'm putting on my workout gear. The wine, nah. My protein shake. Lingerie, nah. I'd rather my workout gear. Awesome. Flowers, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to take care of my temple. And there she is in Gold's Gym. Awesome stuff, you know, that's what it's all about. And that, you know, I think that that's what we should strive for, not to be of this world, to take care of our temple, because this is our antenna. This is what is going to be our key to get out of here. But we need to find that kingdom within us, right? I mean, that's my opinion anyway. Hey, Karen. Karen just joins us and says, good evening, all.
Yeah. Danny joins us, 35, and have always been single on V-Day. This year I'm buying myself chocolate and booze. I'll be my own Prince Charming.
Chocolate and booze is overrated. I mean, I like a little bit of the natural chocolate sprinkled on our oatmeal, but you know, who started that whole idea? Valentine's. It's Saint Valentine, right? It's not a saint.
Valentinus, yeah.
I think it's a Catholic type of
It
thing.
is.
Yeah. And then the whole concept of the wine and the, you know, just spend a day knowing you, Danny, which I'm sure you are a wonderful human being. I'm sure that people haven't gotten to know you because you've been afraid to let people know who you are. It's a scary world out there. It's scary to give our heart, our true self. So we always think we have to put this facade, right, Danny? And then I could see you, Danny. You're deep. You're a deep individual. And that's why you haven't been able to find the love of your life, because you haven't been able to find your true soulmate, your true twin soul that is all about the realness. And you're that kind of guy, Danny. I sense that from you. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Dottie says,
Much love to you.
yes, love to everyone, because it's all about love, but it starts with self-love. It starts with self-knowing. It starts with disconnecting from all these things that have been put there to dumb us down and to keep us enslaved. And that's just, you know, just a sad thing. But, you know, once you tap into your true self, life will change dramatically. Life would be just an amazing thing. And I don't have the words to express it, but I think all of you kind of get the idea what I'm talking about. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and let's get right to the program. Oh, I think I always forget that I have to do this share thing before I could do that. Go into the Chrome. So today we're going to be talking about the power of your mind. Most people don't realize the power that they have in their mind. Mindfulness, proven again to be just as effective as pharma drugs for mental health. And let's not just concentrate on mental health, but your mind is powerful enough to balance your mind, body, and spirit. I mean, that's how it works. It's mind, body, and spirit. I remember when I started to learn to be a personal trainer, a master personal trainer, that was one of the things that I wanted to focus on. Their minds, their body, and their spirit, because you need all three. You can't just have one without the other. It's important to be able to balance all that out. And it's a good thing. So let's see how this is looking on the thingy here. Let's hope the little That's a beautiful picture. The
It
sun,
is.
sun in the back and that yoga meditative pose. I don't know about you guys, but I've never been able to sit like that. I'm not
No.
flexible in any way, shape, or form.
It hasn't quite happened.
No, it's just didn't matter how hard I tried. It was just very difficult to actually do that.
And Danny says you're right, Mark.
I feel you, brother. You know, I connect with spirits, and it's like, you know, it all comes in beautiful downloads from my higher self. So this particular, what is it, like a news source called Natural News? They always have really good articles, really good articles.
Interesting article.
Yeah, and they've been like targeted by YouTube. I think they try to shut down their channel because you know how sometimes when you speak the truth, that other side doesn't want you to speak it, and they give you a hard time. If you have dismissed mindfulness as a fad, which we know a lot of people do, you could be missing out on a very valuable tool for your mental health. In fact, it can be just as effective as the gold standard therapy, individual cognitive behavioral therapy, which is known as CBT, for a range of psychiatric symptoms, according to a new study published in the European Psychiatry.
Mindfulness entails tuning into the present moment by paying attention to your feelings and thoughts, as well as the world surrounding you. You can gain a keen awareness that allows you to enhance your mental well-being by paying attention to your feelings. It's particularly useful for those who are prone to destructive ways of thinking, as it helps people realize how unhelpful their thinking is. Over time, it allows them to notice when their thoughts are heading into negative patterns and regain control over them to deal more productively.
Let's take a look at this. Let's break this down. Okay, so mindfulness. When you think of mindfulness, what do you think of? You're actually in the moment, in the present, engaging with what it is that you're doing without thinking, without putting in negative thoughts or any kind of thoughts for that matter. When you pay attention to your feelings, okay, when you really know what is it that you're feeling at the moment, what is it that you're thinking at the moment, you could really gain that keen awareness that allows you to enhance, to balance, to take control of your mental well-being. We kind of like throw things out there and allow these thoughts to come in that create havoc in our mind, in our hearts. So when we find a pattern, which a lot of people have a pattern of thinking negatively, it's like the glass is always half empty for them. There's always something going on. There's always something wrong. There's always something to fix, that perfection mentality. So if you learn to get away from that kind of thinking, from that kind of realm, you could actually master your thoughts and master your reality. I mean, they're just patterns. You need to learn how to break those patterns. And I know it seems hard because some of these patterns have come from way, way young in our beginning of life, but it can be done. So researchers from Sweden Center for Primary Healthcare Research studied 215 patients who are suffering from anxiety, which is very common this day and age, depression, another common, and stress disorders, and were recruited from a number of healthcare centers across Sweden. In the 8-week randomized and controlled trial, they studied psychiatric symptoms and measured how they changed throughout the treatment as the participants underwent either individual CBT or mindfulness in group therapy. Notice no medications were given. This is behavioral therapy and mindfulness. I believe a lot of the behavioral therapy stems from spirituality. You know, the core of that is becoming aware of your thoughts, of your environment, of your actions, taking control, being mindful, being present.
In both groups, the average score for the 15 subscales measured dropped significantly. These included general anxiety, depression, stress, interpersonal sensitivity, psychoticism, obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, aggression, paranoid ideation, and phobic anxiety.
Now, this is interesting because we're looking at interpersonal sensitivity. There are people that are extremely sensitive, and extremely sensitive in an emotional sense, and extremely sensitive in their neurological workings. You know, some people have hypersensitive neurological systems. And then you've got the obsessive compulsive disorder. I suffered from that for many years, and I'm probably still do. I'm just more mindful about it. Usually when you're raised with a very strict parent who wants things to be perfect in a certain way, OCD kicks in. You start doing repetitive behaviors. I had a girlfriend, an Irish girlfriend that would touch the door every time we were getting ready to go to bed because somebody broke into her house. And she wanted to make sure that the lock was properly closed, and that she would turn the light on and off 3 times. And I was like, what's with this behavior? But it's repetitive. So it's like a reassuring. It's like a neurological hiccup that took place, aggression, paranoid ideation, and phobic anxiety. I mean, these are all things that a lot of us I hate to use the word suffer, a lot of us deal with. Okay. But I don't think it has to be a forever thing. I think we are capable of growing out of that, evolving away from that.
That's good.
Yeah. And here we go.
It was your turn.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
There were no differences in the effectiveness of treatment among the 2 groups, showing the mindfulness group therapy is just as valuable as the individual CBT for many of the most common psychiatric symptoms plaguing people today.
This is a useful finding because individual therapy can be quite expensive.
It can be.
And there aren't enough qualified practitioners to meet the current demand. Hence why they always call you. It seems like they're like, you're not a practicing occupational therapist anymore, but they're always like, can you? Yeah. So
well, I'm a life coach.
Always looking for help in this area because there aren't enough qualified people.
Nope.
Group therapy using mindfulness can help free up healthcare resources. And it's also a lot more accessible for many people.
And I always like to say, there's all these professions that you have to take tests and get a license for. And it's like, it's the system's way of controlling people. But who gives a certificate to a shaman? There's no certified shamans.
No.
Shamans and healers, that's what we are. But there's no, here, have this, right? I mean, it's like a knowing that you have from the time you're little. It usually goes from generation to generation, and it's like, who's to say what, half of these people that we go to that wear a white coat aren't qualified for anything except for writing prescription drugs, cutting you up, or just taking your $150 an hour and going, oh, time's up. See you next week.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I have another client.
Yeah.
So we can't really deal with your stuff right now.
Yeah. So let's see who else we got here. AK joined us. Teen joins us. Todd Garfield joins us. And let's read some of these comments so we don't fall too behind. I think who's Martin said, all honesty, and even if you think I'm being awkward, I don't believe in Valentine's card company's favorite day. I love my woman every day. That's right, brother.
That's good.
That's the way it should be. Love shouldn't be on a special day. It's like every day. How dare a system tell me when I have to go buy roses or do this, that, and the other.
Karen Steele says, good evening, all. Day of love.
Yes. Every day is a day of love, Karen. Love is something that should be given freely, not only to yourself, unconditionally, but to all. And Dottie said, had to refresh.
Danny says, 35 and have always been single. Oh, but he already said that before.
Oh, okay. So let's see here.
So.
And
I think we need to keep moving.
All right, Mark. And let's see. Good evening. Todd joins us. Love and light to all, says AK. And
hi, AK. It's always great having your insight and your wonderful spirit here.
Totally. And Fana joins us.
Yes. And Teen is with us.
Yes, Teen is with us.
Fana says, hi, AK. Hi, Todd. Everybody. Wow.
Yeah.
Full on greetings. Todd says, LOL, it's just Todd. I have a fascination with an overweight orange tabby who loves lasagna. Whoa, that sounds messy.
Yeah, a tabby that loves lasagna. Yeah.
Overweight. Because most tabbies
do. Yeah, Garfield the cat, ring a bell?
Orange tabbies
yeah, they love food. That's
Professor Jen Sundquist, the leader of the study, said that finding alternative treatments like group mindfulness is essential as mental illness rates continue to rise. And I wonder why. He feels that the scarce resources available could be reallocated to group mindfulness therapy and help more people.
Definitely. That's something that I'm looking forward to when we get out on the road and we hang out in parks with a group of people and meditate together and dance together and raise our vibrations together, work through stagnant energy together, helping each other out to reach our ultimate potential, self-actualization, getting to really know one another, knowing yourself, even if like when we're doing certain things that bring out emotions from the past that you've been afraid to work through, being able to work it through with a safe group of people that love you and have got your back, working on breathing. I mean, I'm excited all the things that, when we get out there that we're going to be able to do as a group. Plenty of studies illustrate the effectiveness of mindfulness. Early this year, researchers from the United Kingdom, Cummings University, discovered that mind-body intervention, MBI, can essentially reverse the changes, guess where, in your DNA that lead to stress. While yoga is currently the most popular MBI, mindfulness also falls under this category. Can you imagine adding movement, dance, yoga, mindfulness, learning how to identify the feeling that's being released in your body while you're doing all this, becoming present with it, owning it, feeling it, then learning how to let it go. Fantastic therapy, folks. Fantastic stuff.
Todd Garfield has a great point. It's funny how these neurodegenerative diseases seem to be absent in India and in Asia.
Could it be our television? Could it be our vaccines? Could it be the food we're eating? Could it be the chemtrails? Could it be the programming that has been seeded inside our deep consciousness from those that don't have our best interest?
Also, could it be our sedentary lifestyle? Because those people in Asia, they're very active.
Mm-hmm.
The older people in China, you see them gathered together in city squares doing Tai Chi in the morning.
Yes.
Very, very much in touch with their body and their mind and their spirit,
Totally, yes. So let's go back here. Where were we?
So after reviewing 18 studies that involved 846 participants in total over an average period of 11 years, they found that people who practiced MBIs such as mindfulness, yoga, meditation, and Tai Chi actually had a diminished production of the molecule known as NF-KB. This molecule is responsible for causing cellular inflammation that can lead to physical and mental health issues over time, including cancer and depression. By lowering the production of NF-KB, MBIs alleviate stress and help avoid the health conditions it often brings about.
That's very interesting right there. All these great meditation, mindfulness, Tai Chi actually change your molecules in your body so that you are able to decrease that cellular inflammation. Everything in your body that has a disease stems from some form of inflammation. You need some inflammation, like when you whack yourself, you get the bump and it starts to get big. That's the immediate response where all the white blood cells are going to go in there and clean up and do whatever it needs to do. But if that inflammation continues for a prolonged period of time, that's when the problem lies. That's where you get cancer. You get that inflammation in your head. You're going to have dementia, Alzheimer's, mental issues, neurological impairment. The myelin sheath will become distorted. You won't have the quick response from your central nervous system, your parasympathetic nervous system, and all that stuff. So we've got to be very mindful on what we're putting in and how we deal with stress. Last year, a study published in JAMA Psychiatry found that mindfulness-based cognitive behavior helped patients as much as common antidepressants without any harmful side effects. In the study, which was the biggest analysis of research in this topic, those suffering from depression who underwent MBCT had a 31% lower likelihood of suffering from a relapse within the subsequent 60 weeks.
Fana says, it's programming. Everyone in my family grew up learning that after we shower, one of my teachers told me that the monks do this. It's these little neuroses that makes me me. So that's what she was saying.
Interesting.
Dottie wanted to welcome Becky to our group, Girl with No Name Spooner. Glad you made it.
Thank you, Becky,
Good
for
evening,
joining
spiritual
us.
family, she said.
Thank you for joining us. So yeah, it's people think that medication is the solution, and they swear by it, and it's because we've been programmed. And I'm not going to judge, and I'm not going to tell you not to. You've got to listen to you. You got to listen to what you think you need to listen to. If you think you need to listen to a doctor, a psychiatrist, and you need to take pills for your well-being, then that's on you. I'm not going to tell you not to do it, but I would say that I wouldn't do it. I would go with a natural approach because it goes to the root of the problem. And that's the number one thing we need to learn is what is causing me this distress? Why am I so anxious?
Yeah.
What am I doing to my body? What kind of foods am I eating? What kind of medication am I taking that my body's not liking? When your body's out of balance, it means you're putting something in there that your body's not liking at all.
Looks like Derek made it in from the workout.
Hey, Derek.
Hopefully
How's that pumping weight coming along?
What's it like, getting trained by a bodybuilder? I know what it's like, but yeah, they kick your butt.
Yeah.
They really do.
I would love to work out with Malia and see, because
compare notes.
Yeah,
as trainers.
I've been doing it since 1998. I competed. I had my own gym. It's my passion. I love it. I love sculpting bodies. It's a beautiful thing when you see people change and not just physically, because there's a lot of physical changes, but when you see them changing mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, because it's all interconnected, in my opinion. But thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Derek.
Thank you. It was funny because I noticed that you went up in weight today.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are we going up in weight? And you're like, we need to challenge ourselves here. So.
And so he says, she's killing me. She's doing her job then.
There has to be natural herbs we can use. Are there not?
Oh, yes, there is. There's Sammy. There's ginkgo biloba is for the mind. What's that other one that I took? That St. John's wort. That's a very good natural. But even the natural herbs is not something you want to be on forever. You want to dig deep and find out, why am I depressed? What's going on? Is it chemical? Is it environmental? If it's chemical, you got to do something naturally to restore that balance in the chemistry. You could have a hormonal imbalance. A lot of people who suffer from depression and anxiety, their thyroid is off. Their adrenal glands are producing way too much cortisol. The pituitary gland is not functioning correctly. Their sex hormones are out of whack. So you got to be a private detective and find out what is actually going on. Taking more medication ain't going to solve it. You need to try to do this naturally. Visualization, exercise, breathing, yoga, tai chi. There's so many different things that you can do, Becky.
And there's so many times when I'm walking around in the gym and I'm seeing people just mailing it in. It's like they're doing the exercises all wrong. There's no motivation. Mm-hmm. They might as well just stay home.
Oh, I know.
At that point.
I know.
Because either you're going to be focused and intent on getting the job done and making your body work and really putting in the effort, or you're just spinning wheels, Right. And if you do the same routine every single day, without mixing it up,
your body gets used to it.
That's what you told me, right?
Yeah.
You're like, we have to mix it up. Some days we're on the stability ball, other days we're doing barbells, other days we're doing machine weights, And
I like doing a full body workout because you produce more growth hormone. And I like to work on an empty stomach because that is ultimately, you're really teaching your body to dig deep into the fat cell for energy instead of the food. And when you eat, your body's digesting, so blood flow can't go into your digestion and to the muscle that you're trying to work out. So working on an empty stomach, I know it's hard for a lot of people. You've been programmed otherwise, but if you work out on an empty stomach and you do a full body routine, you're going to see amazing changes and you're going to feel wonderful.
I think there's something to be said about mindfulness. So in exercise, because, when you're concentrating, like when I used to run a lot, I used to really just focus on the muscle that was moving and not really think about anything else.
Right.
And I think that really helped me, build more stamina and just, get myself in better shape.
Right.
Because like when you're doing exercises, it's easy to like think about something else and let yourself daydream.
Mhm.
But when you focus on the muscle that you're trying to stress out,
Exactly. And
Then-
create different angles,
Yeah.
and mix it up. Running is something that I don't promote because it actually kills your metabolism, because the body doesn't know if you're being chased by some saber-toothed tiger or that you're just running to try to get rid of some of your weight.
well, I mean, I didn't say that.
No,
in
I'm
order-
just telling people, because you mentioned running, and I know like sometimes people think, and there are a lot of people that think running is great. And if you're really overweight and you want to get yourself motivated and started, and that's how you started. You didn't know what to do, so you knew that you could run.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Well, the thing is, though, is I think that incorporating running as like a mile to 3 miles isn't going to harm you.
It
But
depends. It depends.
But
It
if
can.
you do a mile, really?
It can. It depends on the
mean-
metabolism. Again, it's person to person basis. Some people, their thyroid may be so shot in their adrenal glands that just a mile running can push them over the edge. It's very person specific. The body is a tremendous machine. Okay, but you have to know how to tweak it, and you have to know exactly what to do. Fana says it is a conscious effort. Oh, and Sue said ginkgo can also raise blood pressure in those with high blood pressure. Ginkgo biloba, it can. You have to be very careful. That's why I say herbs are good, but you have to monitor yourself. You've got to be very mindful what herbs you're putting together. If you already suffer from high blood pressure, you've got to, first of all, bring that high blood pressure down. And there are natural herbs. I take hawthorn berry, or took it for years, so I wouldn't have to take any medication, prescribed medication for it.
But I think, like we were doing maybe a year ago, we were incorporating like a short burst of cardio, like we were doing I think it was like 10 minutes or
that's fine.
something. And
That's
then you
fine.
do a burst and then you go to do a machine.
Interval training.
Yeah.
Yes. Interval training is awesome. But with interval training, you're not prolonging, you're not making your adrenal glands work too much. You're just enough to where, the body learns how to do like a quick, what do you call those, circuit type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Circuit training is beautiful. But people like to run for 2 or 3 miles every day, that could come back and bite you.
I think what happens though is that when you do get into a routine, your body really doesn't change because it gets into that sameness of the whole thing,
Yeah,
So
that, and it's almost like sometimes people do things that defeat the purpose. They take 5 steps forward, 10 steps back. So you really have to, I always tell all my clients, keep a journal. Keep a journal of what you ate. Keep a journal of what you did today. Keep a journal on how you're looking in the mirror, how your clothes are fitting, because the scale ain't going to tell you the truth. How you look like naked, now that's the revealing point.
Fana said, if I have any food in me, I always puke.
Yeah, and a lot of people think they have to eat before the workout. It's like you can't eat and work out, because now you're just ruining your workout. Because your body's trying to digest, so the blood can't go to the muscle. So you're pretty much, you're not doing anything. So eat right after you work out so you can replenish. But on an empty stomach, that is when your fat gets burned, your muscle gets built, you create growth hormone.
Tracy says, my job is physical. If I have a few days off, I can feel it in my muscles.
And you know what, Tracy? I mean, physical work is awesome, but your body will get used to that. So I always tell, because some of my clients would come in and say, well, my job is very physical. I'm on my feet all day, but I don't understand why I can't lose weight. It's because your body's used to what you're doing. So what I would do is I would tailor a specific routine to constantly keep the body guessing. That's how you're going to see changes in your body completely. And even if you only train 3 days a week, a full body 3 days a week should be sufficient, but you really have to put a lot of effort in what you're doing and know exactly what you're doing. And Vanna says, if I'm training and it's all day, I can only nibble grapes and crackers.
Todd had a question and asked, what's your thought on niacin to open the capillaries when taking an herbal supplement so it's transported deep into the tissue?
I don't like niacin. I have had pre-workout drinks that have had niacin, and it does open up the capillary. It creates this really hot feeling in your body. It actually made me nauseous and actually made me dizzy. Some people are allergic to niacin, and the body over a period of time, niacin will become very toxic in your system. It's a form of vitamin B, and a little bit in a multivitamin ain't going to hurt you. But if you're taking it in a supplementation that's geared, remember I used to take that one stuff that was almost like creatine with niacin, and I would feel this like it was really weird, and I had to stop taking it because I didn't like it. My body's very picky on what I put in it, and I'm very aware of the things that goes in there. And Fana said, I sprint, I've tried jogging, my body doesn't get it. I don't blame you, and you know what? Running can be very addictive. But at the same time, you're burning the candles at both ends. Hey, drinking wine give you a nice feeling for a while, but if you drink wine every day for a long period of time, you're going to see the effects. Alcohol is damaging. So is a lot of heavy-duty cardio. You've got to trick the body. You got to whisper, never shout.
And also, the fact, the impact that running has on your joints is really something else. Because I was running from 2011 to about 2014, when then I switched over to rollerblading, because I knew that my knees weren't going to be able to take it. Yep. Your ankles get pummeled. If we ran like the Kenyans do, they run like on their heel, on their toes, so they're kind of bounding, and they're really not kind of making that connection to the ground. So they're flying, they're like gazelles.
And they also usually run barefoot. And
their muscle
the kinesiology is very different, totally different.
And here in America, we think that by, running, we invest in a really good heavy cushion shoe, and it really just kind of like sets our knees up for disaster.
It does. Okay. So.
If you'd like to bring some mindfulness into your own life, try to notice everything around you as you go about your daily life. That's what I was talking about with regards to if you do work out, if you go to the gym, and you're going to work out on a specific piece of equipment, be mindful of what you're doing. You can't be thinking about, what you're going to cook tomorrow, if you have to pick up your kids. You have to really focus.
And you can't just I want to get this over with.
No, you can't.
Because you're wasting your time.
Quality reps, that means something.
Exactly.
Because if I see people at the gym, particularly on that upright one where you pull down
the pull downs,
yeah, and they're just like, like you lunging it and stuff, and it's like, what?
They're either lifting too heavy because they're working their ego, and they're not creating the tracks that you need to create. When you first start working out, you need to develop the railroad tracks so that your body will efficiently provide blood supply, oxygen, and nutrient to that muscle so that the muscle could grow. You need to tear the muscle fibers so that the muscle fibers could then be replaced, and you'll get a stronger toner muscle that'll be more efficient. It's very specific. People think that this could go to the gym and do whatever. You got to know what you're doing.
And also, this could even translate over to when you're eating, because there's so many times Americans especially are notorious for this. I used to eat in my car all the time, and I was not mindful about eating. I wasn't mindful about chewing or drinking or anything. I was just like, get it in, get it done, and move on with the day, right? But it's like when I eat one time a day and we sit, we really are mindful of what we're doing. Mindful about every bite, about what we're putting into our mouth, thinking about, oh, it's a carrot. Oh, this is going to be good. It's like you take your time. And that's what they do in Asian cultures. And in India, they really do take time. The meal time is a sacred time.
Right. And here in America, people are used to snacking, and quickly getting the snack in. It's like, it's good to be hungry. It's good to just have that one meal so that your body could really, take what you're putting in and do something with it. Because the time that you're fasting is the time that you're healing. It's a time that your body is really doing what it needs to do. And then when you do eat, it knows exactly where it needs to go.
So pay attention to the air moving past your body while you walk. and the texture of the food you eat. For example, some people find it helpful to choose a regular time, such as the walk home from work, to tune into everything around them. You can also start to notice your surroundings in a new way by choosing a different seat on the bus or taking a different route to work.
Right, and that's very important. Getting to know you, getting to know your inner workings, getting to visualize what you want from your vehicle. And then as you visualize what you want from your vehicle, then you can start connecting in deeper inside that kingdom that we have within us.
So
that was the end of that one. Okay.
Girl with No Name Spinner says, I clean residential homes and commercial businesses 6 days a week. So I get a workout every day, LOL. You know, it's like the good old fashioned, like, manual labor, you know, is something that's been lost in our society.
And that's awesome. I mean, you're doing something probably that most people don't do, but is that getting your physique to where you want it? Do you like, you know, how your clothes look and how they feel, and not as in, you know, vanity, but you know, it's like there's a feel when you know that you're toned, that your body feels in shape, because working hard on a daily basis, again, it's like a repetitive thing. So if you take your time, take 30 minutes in the day, that's all it'll take to work out with a band and a ball and free weights and do plyometrics and do some push-ups and do wall sits and different things to really incorporate something that your body is not used to.
Well, you know, the concept like of manual labor was that back in the day when a kid worked in the farm, you know, he could be lifting sacks of grain one day, or he could be hauling things out of the barn another day.
Yep.
Something could be more back, you know, specific or bicep specific, you know, and they just like did variety because, you know, if they were on the farm, I mean, they had to get everything done.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. And then I think also, you know, the new way of living, the new eating, the new sedentary, you know, life that people have taken on have changed the dynamic of the body. So it's almost like you have to reconnect, retap with the perfect tapestry that we're made out of, you know. So, you know, I see people that go to the gym, right, and they don't change. Their bodies don't change.
They don't.
So I'm like, well, gosh, they're either not eating right, they're not training they're not pushing their body to the limit where it needs to be pushed so that the body can change.
You know, when the Segway first came out, you know, that device that you step on, and I've never been on one, but supposedly it's really cool or whatever, right?
Yeah, those little thingies, yeah.
All I saw was like how people like
didn't want to walk,
you know. So that was touted as the future of man, right? The future of humankind was that they were going to be able to stand on this vehicle and let it take them wherever they needed to go. I mean, and they came out with the movie, a Disney movie, Pixar, called WALL-E, and it was about this robot, you know, and then in the future, everybody was fat. Everybody was on these Segway things, and nobody did anything organic anymore. You know, it's like even like when I was a kid and we used to watch the Jetsons. How everything was automated. You know, like if George Jetson wanted to get dressed, he would go into the
they wouldn't do anything.
Then, you know, or if they wanted to eat, they would just eat with this little pill or something, and it was like, you know, everything was like all pre-done. And that's the crazy thing, is that this future where they're trying to bring together, you know, artificial intelligence and all this artificial stuff into the human biome, you know, it's actually something that's really not organic at all for our existence. You know, if this is the future of man, this is a very scary place.
It is. And Dottie says, being with you all is making me want to get back in shape. And you can't do that, Dottie.
Let's work out.
Yeah. You know, that's one of the things when we get out on the road, we're definitely going to be, you know, having classes and getting people to move and really a lot of exciting things. Todd says the FDA said they were going to start regulating herbal supplements last week. Well, that's because big pharma, is not liking the fact that people are trying to stay away from medication and trying to do it naturally. I mean, that's where they want to control everything, the thought process. They want to control it all. That's where we have to be very mindful not to allow that to take place. Because they'll start at you can't be mean to people and you can't this, that, and the other. And and not that I want people to be mean to people, but when you start controlling thoughts, when you start controlling what you see, and when you start being PC, they'll start controlling what you're taking in, what you're taking out, everything.
You know what, though? I think that the ultimate reality is that as humans and eternal divine spirits, we are capable of producing whatever herbal supplement we need, whatever remedy we want.
Yep.
We are creator gods. And I know you guys think it's gross and everything, but your own urine is your best herb that you could take, literally, because it's designed customized for you.
Totally.
It's made so that it benefits you and you alone. And I know it's gross to so many people, but it's not true.
Totally. So Becky says it's hard work, but I love the customer, especially when cleaning for people that have allergies, and they're so grateful. Yeah, when you do something that you enjoy, I think cleaning is very therapeutic. I love to clean. It's extremely therapeutic because it's just getting everything nice and neat. And part of my OCD, when I see things nice and neat, it's like, oh, everything's okay now. Everything is organized.
All is well in my world.
Yeah, exactly. But that's just it's a form of soothing. It's a coping mechanism that we've created, Fana
says, my favorite look, naked.
Naked is awesome. It really is. I mean, it's like all this clothing that we have to wear. AKA, we're made to emotion ourselves to power up the avatar.
Emotion ourselves. Yeah.
And Becky says,
of course, the FDA would do that because it's not making the pharma money.
Exactly. But you know what, people, we have to rise up. We have to say, we're not going to take it. You ain't going to take away my natural remedies. You're not going to take away my well-being. We've got to stand up and speak up. And Becky says, think maybe emotion equal energy in motion. Yes.
AK said, yeah. Kitten XT.
Hey there, Kitten. Thank you for joining
Much
us.
love to you.
Let's see here. Scott joins us. Scott Jones. Your body is a chemistry lab. You'll actually make everything you need when you are one with everything. Yes, that is something we as a whole have forgotten.
That's what they don't want us to know. I mean, if we knew that secret right there, if we knew that secret, we wouldn't need them for anything
at all.
Because we don't have to get sick.
We don't
have to fear cancer, because our body has a way, if we are in tune with it, of being able to disable it.
That, and we have to make sure that we're not putting things in it that will, because we've seen documentaries where the person was, eating right and exercising and stuff like that, but they still got cancer because it doesn't matter if it's a chemical induced by what you're putting in or your stress chemistry, you're creating an alteration of your pH. It's going to create a lot of abnormal cells, a lot of cells that have gone rogue. And unless you really know what you're doing, like I'm putting together I don't want to call it a book. It's a system on how to learn how to decode your cells so that your cells start working for you, not against you. So it's important to learn how to do that. Tracy said, that's a great idea. New shoes.
I'm not sure what you meant by that.
Not wearing shoes or
no shoes?
No shoes. Yeah.
Because AK says barefoot.
Yeah. Barefoot that's how we were meant to be, barefoot. All this stuff keeps us away from receiving the gifts that Mother Earth has for us by receiving her energy. we have all these rubber that stops that from happening.
And Fana says, I'm definitely weird with my running. I go early or late to the high school so I can use the track. I like the track and can't help it. Every 4 is a mile, so no need for an iWatch.
And how is that working for you, Fana? Do you find yourself feeling good? Do you find your body changing? Do you find yourself getting a little anxious, your adrenal system getting a little overworked? Because you've got to kind of start listening to your body. I had a lot of clients that were runners, and they would come to me and they would wonder why they couldn't get rid of certain spots in their bodies that were fat deposits. And women especially develop alpha-2 receptors, which are the hardest fat cells to open up and get rid of the fat. And that is created by running. Okay. So I always like to ask my clients, how do you feel? Are you seeing changes? Because it makes you feel good at the time. You get that runner's high, but long-term, that's when you got to really be mindful.
When I used to run, I had friends that would say, have you downloaded the new iPhone app called Zombies Run? I'm like, what's that? I never used it. But they're like, it's like zombies are chasing you and on your phone, and it's stressing you out. So you feel like you have to run away from them. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh. So on top of already the repetitiveness of running, right, which is kind of hurting your metabolism, hurt mine, you have to now introduce this whole thing of stress from a zombie that you just created in your head that's chasing you.
And already your body thinks it's being chased by a zombie, because when you run, your body doesn't know
your
you're
body's
running.
already in fight or flight.
Okay, what's chasing us? Is it still after us? Why are we still running?
Why are we running still?
And like I said, grounding is very important. Totally.
And Todd says, another important factor for good neural health is to throw away your table salt. The Morton's bleached poison. Use a sea salt that's never been processed, or actually don't use any salt at all. You don't even need it.
There's no salt. We only use Mrs. Dash, all the different types of herbs. Celery is very good because it has natural sodium in it. And a lot of the vegetables that you're already eating has that.
A squeeze of citrus would give us salt, the zesty flavor.
I don't even like the taste of salt, to tell you the truth.
No, it's really kind of plain. It's really kind of plain. Dottie says, I use pink salt.
And Todd said, that's really good salt.
But my question is this. There are only a few places in the world where you can actually mine salt. And for one thing, you have to mine it.
Yeah.
So if it was meant to be in our body,
we wouldn't have to mine it.
I mean, it would be available in more places, for one. But I don't know.
So girl with her name says she's 135 pounds, and yes and no can do with some toning. When I asked her, was she happy with? So just remember this. I don't know if she wasn't the one that said that brand.
No, that was Fana.
Fana, okay. Toning, then just get yourself some bands or some free weights, 5 to 8 pounds, and do a little routine. I mean,
stability ball,
just like what we showed yesterday on yesterday's show. And Teen said, mindfully clean, use good form, all good.
Todd says Himalayan, because girl with no name spinner said pink sea salt. So Fana says, you got to learn those bandas, engage with your mind, get mind blown. Okay.
And order a food processor blender today. Yay. Those are awesome. Those are really good.
Standing becomes a conscious moving exercise. Fana.
Yes. Comfortably numb, says AK. And that's good. Raw fruits and vegetables are in your future. Good thing.
That's really good.
That's awesome.
And Teen says, I'd love for you to speak at my daughter's high school.
Once when we get that traveling Phoenix, what's it called again? Pheonix Cruiser. We'd love to do that. We would love to be able to talk in schools, educate.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've learned so much with you, about healthy choices, eating, about proper ways of looking at life. I mean, I didn't have that understanding, and I just wanted to thank you.
You're very
'cause
welcome. You're very welcome.
There's a lot of things, and I know that sometimes I don't show you that appreciation, but I'm very appreciative. And who I used to be like 3 years ago compared to what
massive changes, and I'm very proud of you for that. And April joins us. Hey, sweetie, and all my relations, good evening all. Can't stay long. Seems like another great topic. Well, thank you for stopping by.
Always a great topic on Real Talk.
And Vanna says, before we were kitten mitten feelings, now we are super, super extreme. It's best that you be in your home and 6 kittens mittens. I see it in the hood all the time.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Did you get that?
No, I didn't. But blessing to you, and thank you for sharing.
Before we were kitten mittens of feelings.
Thank you for sharing. I'm sure that has some really deep, deep information that went inside the DNA and did something wonderful in there.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we don't have to understand what's.
Where's Pheonix?
I don't know.
Pheonix can interpret that.
Yeah, maybe she could. And urine equals living water. Yes, AK, you know about that, brother. I do it every morning. Every morning. That's the start. Best cup of waking up. That's, yeah.
Is urine in your
cup? Yeah.
April says, we are taught urine is filthy, but it is sterile.
Clean and pure. It's filtered blood that is meant for your body with the stem cells to repair and keep you rejuvenated. It's the perfect medicine.
It's better than Pellegrini.
Yeah.
It's better than Fuji.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Evian. It's better.
Tailored just for you.
Of course. You need to clean yourself out.
Yeah, you don't want to be eating meat and doing urine therapy, because then not good. Okay, so Todd says, I can't remember what channel I saw it on, but it was an article by Goldman Sachs stating curing disease is not a good business model. Yeah, exactly. They don't want to cure anything. They want to have treatment that they could have you on for life. Girl with no name says.
It's nostalgic. I teach yoga and Reiki, so I always work on myself. So I feel pretty good. My running is more of a sprint / walk fast. I can't go in between.
Okay. And the girl with no name said, but wouldn't your urine have toxins that are in our bodies now? Not at all.
No, that would be the poop.
The poop, yeah, the poop. But urine is filtered blood. They want to make you believe that your urine is bad for you, but it's a therapy that has been done for eons.
You are ion, urine,
yeah.
Ion.
Let's see.
Fana says a bandha is a lock or bind in yoga, which is performed in order to direct and regulate the flow of prana, life force energy, to certain parts of the body.
Yes, and prana is very, very important. A lot of people use prana. They're breatharians, and they don't eat, or they eat very little, and that prana energy is what sustains them. I believe at one point in our life we didn't eat. It wasn't necessary.
It wasn't necessary. Dottie says, I need to get to Five Below and get that ball. Yeah, I put a link for a $5 stability ball yesterday's show. And I mean, no excuses, you guys. I mean, things are cheap. You can get them on Amazon. You can get it at Five Below, Just a stability ball, some bands,
and
some barbell weights. Yeah. I mean, dumbbells.
Yep.
And you're good to go, right?
Exactly. Have you downloaded the app for waterproof phone?
I don't know why would we want to do that.
No.
Why would we want that?
No, I don't. I don't download any apps. I mean, I got this because you got an app and we needed this, but I'm always very mindful that when you're downloading and getting all these apps on your gadgets, you don't know what you're getting.
They just said, and it's dangerous right now because they're putting in Windows code into stuff to get at Macs now.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So
yeah.
People downloading stuff.
And you like to download a lot of stuff.
I have in the past. Yeah.
Fana says, kitten mittens approaching everything with a soft touch.
Oh.
In other words, okay, gotcha. I understood that one, Fana. And April says, right. At first, once needs to clean the body first to get to the clean urine. Agreed. Yeah, because if people are taking medication, they're drinking alcohol, they're eating meat and all sorts of stuff, then that's not good. And plus, that urine's got to taste foul. That's how you know when your diet's right. When your urine just tastes like distilled water. When your diet is bad and your urine tastes like a toxin waste, then you know it's time to change your diet.
Fana says, I used to live in the affluent neighborhood, unknowingly moved to a very impoverished neighborhood, and have witnessed many state atrocities since. I'm a bit of a sleuth.
And Gigi says, hello, welcome Gigi, loving sisters and brothers, lots of love and cuddles and hugs. And AK says,
medicine woman, medicine man, walking with grace. I know your face and I trust your hands.
Awesome. And Todd says, I hate to say this, but there are curing antibiotic-resistant CDIF with fecal transplant therapy.
Yes, they are.
They are. And there's other things that they use that fecal transplant therapy for a lot of stomach problems.
It's because it replaces the microbiome gut bacteria with something that actually is going to be beneficial to someone. So literally, people's taste buds change, because they are now, being fed a different type of bacteria in their body that is talking to their brain and telling them what, they should have.
Exactly. But I don't recommend eating it, putting it in the, back there so that.
I don't even know.
Yeah. Anyway, the next article is called New Research Finds That MS, the most common inflammatory disease of the central nervous system, may be triggered by an imbalance in gut flora, which is very, very telling of what we were just speaking about. The gut flora is something that, really controls a lot of things in your body, from your mental state to your emotional state to your physical state. If you have an imbalanced microbe, you're going to find yourself with a lot of problems. Intestinal flora may be the key to understanding how multiple sclerosis develops. Previous assumption held that MS was a mostly genetic problem, prompting physicians to closely examine DNA. But new research, however, has shown that autoimmune diseases such as multiple sclerosis are brought about by a combination of environmental and genetic factors, the catalyst of which could be the balance of the gut microbiome. Should this be further verified, it could help neuroimmunologists design better treatments planned for MS patients and, more importantly, craft simple and more natural preventative plans.
Multiple sclerosis, MS, is a disease that attacks the central nervous system. T cells, which are a subtype of white blood cells, begin damaging the nerve cells, destroying the sheath that surrounds these cells. As these cells die, nerve impulses can no longer transmit correctly. Patients diagnosed with the condition experience general muscle weakness, numbness, problems with memory, visual disturbances, and difficulties in balance. Those diagnosed with more severe cases of the illness are often placed in a nursing facility as they can no longer independently function. There is currently no cure for the condition.
I've worked with many MS patients in nursing home facility or assisted living facilities. It's not a pretty picture, and you could get it when you're young, which is what's really, really hard. Have a 30-year-old female who starts having difficulty, their mind and sheath stops working, stops allowing the nerve conduction to work in your body. Now you have no trunk stability, your extremities become weak. It depends where in the myelin sheath is affected. It would depend what function you are losing. And it's really sad. It's really sad to see this happening to people. You start losing your memory, your visual disturbance, and all because people aren't eating correctly. Some sort of virus attacks your system. Your own hormonal imbalance starts to attack your system. Everything. People don't realize, whatever you're putting in your body will have an effect in your body in the long term. And that includes stress. So no one's free from getting MS or a variation of it, because I believe there are many different types of neurological impairment that you could actually witness.
And the concerning thing is that medicine says that they have no cure for the condition. I mean, obviously it's curable because you can reverse the effects of it by being mindful
and
of
changing,
changing.
But it also depends how much damage has been done, because that's the thing in the nervous system. If there's a lot of damage, if there's a lot of corrosion within the myelin sheath, it's like an electrical cord. The outside is considered the myelin sheath. That's what's protecting the wires. If that myelin sheath, if that covering gets compromised, and then the actual wires inside get compromised, it's not going to work.
But don't you think there's a way for, like, if you're very in tune?
Well, if you catch it ahead of time, but if somebody has a very strong case of MS and they've damaged a lot of the myelin sheath, I mean, I would never say never. I never tell my clients you can't heal this, because that's the death for them. You always have to give people hope, but it all depends how far off you are and how your body's capable of reconnecting.
I was thinking about the person that was on that documentary about healing, who had stage 4 cancer, right? Mm-hmm. And they went back after doing these techniques, Reiki, doing other things where they actually let go of their stress, and they did all this, real deep spiritual work. And they went back to the doctor, and the doctor said, we must have misdiagnosed you. Yeah.
But you saw her mentality, and the same other person who had all this stuff growing in, she wasn't able to beat it because she was
I think she was not at the level.
Exactly. And it all depends on the individual. How in tune are you with you? How willing are you to heal yourself? How trusting you are of yourself and your capabilities, and how much damage have you caused? And the damage doesn't have to be physical. The damage could be emotional, and you have to be willing to let go. You have to be willing to really work through your stuff. And Maishin Mount joins us, gave you a like you need to support. So let's help everyone. Thank you, Maishin. I appreciate that. We appreciate that very much.
Gail says, hi guys, I did the sums. If each of your over 5,000 subscribers each contributed $10 each or purchased a product, you would have your rig. Spread the word. Fellow subscribers / benefitters.
Yes, and that would be awesome, because we can't wait to get out there, to connect with every single one of you. I mean, it would take our ministry to a high level. I mean, it's just you would just. I feel so limited when I'm able to do in what I do, but hands-on. I mean, what I have done for you from the moment that we met, that you were broken in a hospital ICU bed, that you couldn't move anything. The doctors gave you 25%.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's, and it's not because I'm doing it. It's just, I'm allowing the person to go within and open up that healing ability, and love. I mean, love is, an amazing thing. So Todd said, I asked the doctor how they gave mice MS to test their drugs if they don't know what causes it. The doc looked shocked that I asked that question. And they don't usually like to be questioned. Doctors can be very arrogant at times. I worked with a lot of them for many years, and I wouldn't put up with them. They would look at me, like, how dare you? And I was like, no, how dare you?
Yeah.
It's like the battle I had with your doctor. Ligaments don't heal. Oh, yes, they do. And it was back and forth. But
so Mason Mount says, can't see you two.
Oh, we're on the left over here.
I've heard something else like that earlier. Todd said, the doc then admitted that isolated target gene therapy could cure it, but it would be out of pocket for around $2 million.
Wow. Can you guys see us on the left there? Or, because I mean, that shouldn't be a problem. But anyway, scientists hypothesize that every person's T cell have the potential to exhibit aberrant behavior, but genetic vulnerability does not dictate disease manifestation. Hardy professor and emeritus director at the Max Planck Institute of Neurobiology, Professor Harmit Wakey, explains that more than 200 genes that increase susceptibility to MS have now been identified. But for MS to develop, there must be a trigger. Like every disease, there's always got to be a trigger, an irritant, whether it's emotional, chemical, there's got to be a trigger.
Oh, yeah. So everybody says that they can see us. And then Maison says, yeah, but it's a small box.
Yes. Well, that's because we're sharing the
And we
screen.
said, yeah. And
Yeah.
then Kitten XT said, yes, you are on the left, mini screen.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Is that okay?
I mean, because,
I don't
unless you don't want us to share the screen,
or unless you want us to go back to a full screen and
Yeah.
share the screen a little bit. I don't know.
it's up to you guys. Whatever you guys want, you're the bosses. We're here to aim to please.
That's right. So if you want more Cummings, less
Pictures, then let us know what you guys want.
we'll give
We're
it to
here
you.
for you.
Scientists hypothesize that every person's T cells have the potential to exhibit. Didn't we
Yeah,
read
we
that?
already did. It's the power of the
Okay,
element.
the power of the elements. No.
No, not.
To prove this theory,
The trigger is suspected to be the natural intestinal
I see.
flora.
The trigger is suspected to be the natural intestinal flora. And to prove this theory, researchers from the Ludwig Maximilian University of Munich, the Max Planck Institute of Immunobiology and Epigenetics in Freiburg, and the universities of California, San Francisco, and Munster observed 50 pairs of identical German twins, one of whom had MS while the other did not. This, the researchers said, would eliminate any genetic variability in their study. Cross-analysis of different factors showed subtle but incredibly distinct differences between the twins. The most intriguing was the gut microbiome.
This
profile.
right here is very interesting because that's why I say that transgenderism is not biological in nature. There's nothing genetically that makes you trans. It's environment. It's the way you think. Because here the same thing. It's the probably one twin ate a certain way, handles stress differently, was exposed to a different environment than the other, and they developed that. So where things got really interesting, however, is when we inoculated the genetically modified mice, which had been raised in sterile conditions with a human microbiota, said Guru Krishnamurthy, a neuroimmunologist at the Max Planck Institute. The team saw the mice exposed to the intestinal flora of patients with MS develop MS-like brain lesions. And that's what MS is. There's a lesion in that sheath, myelin sheath, that starts to break down and degenerate, and then you have problems with the circuitry.
She said, our way of inducing EAE in rats is by raising myelin-specific T cells by immunization of the rats with a neuroantigen in CFA, followed by expansion and activation of the T cells in culture to create MS in rats.
Yes.
And Todd says, lost about every person I know with an autoimmune disease states their first symptom occurred around puberty and a severe gut infection that prompted an antibiotic.
Yeah. And that's why antibiotics could be very dangerous too, because they kill the microbiome.
Oh, just about every person.
Yeah.
That he knew.
Yeah. And it's, everything starts in the gut. That's why it's so important what you're eating. People don't realize what you put in here and what you put in here and what you're allowing here will affect you dramatically, totally dramatically. All right. So
by observing animal models, the scientists say that they eliminated any confounding factors that may be inferred in human experiments, such as individual eating habits, etc. These results clarify the relationship between intestinal flora and T cell activation.
The research team was quick to know that finally grasping this concept does not imply a cure for the disease. More studies need to be conducted to develop any new diagnostic procedure or treatment. At the same time, the study does highlight the importance of following a healthy lifestyle, especially keeping a balanced gut microbiome. That is so very important. People don't realize, is keeping that balance. That's why it's important to fast so that your body can regulate itself. That's why it's so important to make sure that you're not eating animal products, because animal products will literally imbalance that microbiome very, very quickly.
So let's look at multiple sclerosis. women are 2 to 3 times more likely to develop multiple sclerosis and have a relapse.
MS for short. And the reason why women are 3 times more likely is because of the hormone that their body is the dominant hormone. You know, that's one of the reasons. I've done studies about that in the past because, you know, that my field, I studied all the neurological impairments, and a lot of the neurological impairment that women get more so than men, it's because of their estrogen dominance. Multiple sclerosis can affect anyone of any age. The average age for MS symptoms to first appear is between the ages of 30 to 35, which is really sad. You know, they're pretty much still in the prime of their life.
So Mazion asks the question, we are a couple. He was born a she, I was born a he. Mm-hmm. We're not gay because I have a wee and has a hoo-ha. So we're not gay. Okay. We are a trans couple or a couple with a trans history, and we choose to express our gender differently.
You know, I knew
than
that
majority
was a troll from the word go. But I was like, let's give them a benefit of the doubt. You know, it's like they come in with such a, oh, hit the like button, and oh, this and the other, you know, very, and I'm like, any minute now they're going to let the bomb go. And it's like, there it is.
It's such a waste.
Yeah. All right. So Kitten X has mentioned, please be respectful. The Cummings are wonderful and beautiful. Thank you, Kitten X. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank you, Tracy.
Totally just distracting us from
it. That's okay. We're not going to be distracted. So anyway, the condition is more common among Caucasians and among those of Northern or Central European descent. And it's estimated that there are around 200 new cases per week of MS being diagnosed in the U.S.
That's what I was telling you the other day. I was like, it seems to be more common among Caucasians.
Yes.
Than it does among, like, I don't hear of Latin American.
No, and there's something, and again, it could be the DNA. It could be the nervous system of Caucasians because they don't have as much myelin to protect their skin, so that they might not have enough myelin sheath, or their myelin sheath may not be as thick. Mm-hmm. You know, so there's many different reasons. All of my patients in the past that I've treated with MS, for the maybe exception of a couple, I have treated a couple of Hispanic women who had it, but mostly they've been Caucasian. And, you know, that's an interesting question or information to go into as to why. You know, like I know people that get rheumatoid arthritis or any other type of inflammatory disease, a lot of it stems from them being a personality type A, people that become angered very easily, high stress, you know, wanting to control everything, wanting to be a perfectionist, things of that nature, that will affect your inflammatory disorder. And let's see, Dottie says, damn, you're fast. She said, got her. That's right. I was waiting for it to commit the asshole. Yeah, I was like that. I could just spot him a mile away. I'm like, wait for it. They're going to get ready to throw in the bomb.
I know, stupid.
Yeah. But, you know, it's okay. It's like they're doing their job. I mean, we all have jobs to do in this beautiful blue planet. Some of us are meant to spread love. Some of us are meant to challenge those of us that are wanting to spread love, so that it kind of throws us off kilter a little bit. And then we have to go, okay, got it. It's all good. Balance yourself back up. You know, that's what it's all about. If we let things like that get to us, then they're winning, right? Can't let those people win, you know. But thank you for doing your job there, whatever
she
the name
said it is on.
Yes. But I also want to thank Macy and Mount, because that was a teaching moment. We have to look at every negative aspect of our life, anything that happens, as a teaching moment. Did we fail, or did we have victory over that? And if we fail, then we have to go, oh, okay, yeah, that's what it's all about, folks.
Well, I just wanted to explain, you know, because I'm not going to.
But it's like, I think most people that come here and they know that, they're just waiting to throw that bomb in. So it's like, you know, read the actual description of our channel, and it'll tell you that we are a trans couple, because I put that in there, you know. So it's just, you know, it is what it is. Let's see. Stupid people asking stupid things. I know, right, AK? but stupid is as stupid does, as Forrest Gump say, you know. And Danny Flo, so grateful the mods are keeping this place safe. Yes, thank you so much, mods. Thank you, Suze. You are amazing. And so
our new
mods,
mod,
yes,
Dottie.
Dottie, yes. So let's see here. I agree. I have reminded you you're testing a few times. Yes, and it's good to be tested because then
it's on the channel description.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, so you know, it's just not, you know, and I'm not perfect. I can get angry every now and then, but I'm learning more and more, like, not to get bothered because I don't want to make anybody my God. There's only mother and father that I, you know, connected to, and you know, once I'm in that energy, it's all good.
And what's gender anyway? It's part of the program here.
You know, in my morning show, my intro, or not my intro, my ending shows my progression. And I'm very, very happy to have lived this life, you know, to have lived in both gender, to have experienced what it feels like to be mother and father, you know, because that's part of the whole thing. Letting go of these meat suits, letting go of the attachment, because, okay, it's letting go of the attachment because we need to protect our meat suit because it's our antenna and we need to honor it. But letting go of the attachment, not getting triggered and angry because the meat suit is not acting the way we want it to, or it's not what, you know, it's just being present and loving at all times. And that's the name of the game. And Darth says, love what you're doing. Just keep great work. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Todd said, with apple cider vinegar helping with insulin and metabolism, does balsamic do the same thing? Balsamic vinegar has other things in it. And I would just go with apple cider because that's the mother of all.
With the mother in it.
With the mother in it, and it's got live enzymes. And that's what you need. Because before I eat, that's the first thing that I put in. You know, I don't have any food at all, and I do the apple cider vinegar, and it's what does great work.
Gail says, it's an amazing life you've lived, Mark.
Thank you. I've very appreciative.
Many lives of Mark.
I'm very appreciative of it. You know, it's like I look back and reminisce at times, and I know that we're supposed to be in the now, but sometimes it's like, wow, you know, I feel like I've lived so many lifetimes. I really, really do, and it's amazing.
Well, you don't have to feel that way. You have lived.
I have lived
many lifetimes.
Yes, I totally have.
As have I.
Yeah. All right, so let's do this. The next one, a little bit of Thoth. We haven't done Thoth for a while here. The emerald tablets. And let me make sure that it's very interesting when we take a look at this mythological character. I think that all these energies have interchanged from Jesus to Thoth to Buddha. I think they've all played different roles within our lifetimes. And I think they've all had the same message, coming here to try to save us, wake us up, show us the divinity that we have within us, shake us up a little bit, you know, let us know that, hey, it's time to get out of this maze, this matrix. And, you know, I think that learning a little bit about all these wonderful avatars can help us remember things that we need to remember deep within. So let me see how I'm going to do this so that it.
So
wait, I'm trying to. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. It probably went away. I'm gonna have to do it again. Oh, there it is. Okay. Zoom it in and center it. Zoom it in and center it. Let's see. Wait. Yes. I got it. Let me. If I go this way too much, it's going to end up leaving just like that again. It won't let me do that.
Oh, it won't?
No, because it goes to the other page. So let me see how I could do this, because they put the wording on the side.
Oh.
And it won't.
Oh, I know what you want to do then.
What? What do you want to do? No, because if I go like this, if I bring it down, let's see here. See, it's always going to be, because it's so to the left. Let me see. Bear with us, folks. Yeah, this ain't going to work. We're not going to be able to share this, because when I go like that, if I go this way, it's going to take it out.
Let me see.
There it's going to beep again.
Oh, geez. Why did
Never
it do
mind.
that?
Never mind. We won't put it on the screen because it does that because it's all the way to the left.
Right.
Okay. So we won't be able to share that.
Sorry.
Let me just eliminate that there. And oh, no, that's not what I meant to do. Okay. So I have to put it back on the screen. All right. Control copy. And let me bring it back here so that I could at least read it. All right. So many of you are aware who Thoth is. We've had a couple of shows in the past talking about Thoth. I'm enamored by the poetry because I love poetry. Poetry to me is very soothing, and I think poetry has something that helps in the healing of our DNA and the reconnection of our DNA. Today we learned that when people read the Bible the way that has been intended, it was meant to alter
their DNA,
and not in a good way.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the greatest MK Ultra event of our time, of our existence. Oh, Dottie, before we start this, Dottie is asking, how much apple cider vinegar should I take?
Start off with 1 tablespoon with some water. You want to dilute it because it's very strong. You know, it really could feel like a burning sensation in your stomach, and you don't want to tear down the enamel of your teeth, and you don't want to tear down the lining of your stomach. So let's say a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to like 4 to 6 ounces of water, warm water preferably. And you could also add a little bit of squeeze of a lemon or a lime. Okay. And then as your body starts to get used to it, you could add 2 tablespoons, or you could do 1 tablespoon 2 or 3 times a day, which will probably be better for you.
And she said it. No, not yet. Todd says, Dottie, not sure how much, but a good brand is Bragg's.
Yes.
You know, there's different kinds, and I would absolutely recommend the one that comes with the mother in it.
That's Bragg's. That's Bragg's.
But there's others that have the mother in it.
Yeah, yeah. And the one that we get I think it's the Co-op brand, and it's very good because it has all the, as long as you see the little milky stuff on the bottom and you have to shake it because that's all the enzymes. That's the ones that, and because Bragg's can get expensive. So, you know, as long as you buy the one that has the little milky, gooky enzymes on the bottom of it, it's kind of like kombucha. Kombucha has that stuff on the bottom of it. So Todd says, Dottie, not sure how much, but a good brand is Bragg's. Okay, so she said, masters are ye of your destiny, free to take or reject at will. Take ye the power, take ye the wisdom, shine as a light among the children of men. Doesn't that just have such a beautiful ring to it? You know, I find it to be art, you know.
April says, well, it's been great. All my relations, blessings on. Thanks, Meg Witch. Mark and Lynn, I'm with you. Mark on attachments. That's my way of looking at it as well.
Good night, April. Thank you so much for joining us. And Gail says, make a refreshing tonic with lemon juice, water, and apple cider vinegar. It's delicious, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
It is.
And okay, so here we go. I, Thoth, the Atlantean, give up my wisdom, give of my knowledge, give of my power. Freely I give to the children of men. Give that they too might have wisdom to shine through the world from the veil of the night. And it's interesting because Atlantis got blown out of proportion and is, I think, sank.
Oh, he's not from Atlanta?
No, Atlantean.
He was from Atlanta.
No.
Wisdom is power, and power is wisdom. One with each other, perfecting the whole. Be thou not proud, O man, in thy wisdom. Discourse with the ignorant as well as the wise. If one comes to thee full of knowledge, listen and heed, for wisdom is all.
Wisdom is definitely all. Keep thou not silent when evil is spoken for truth, like the sunlight shines above all. He who oversteppeth the law shall be punished. For only through law comes the freedom of men. Because thou not fear, for fear is a bondage, a fetter that binds the darkness to men. Now, I think the law that they're speaking of is not like the 10 Commandment law. I think there's like the law of nature. There's certain things that are very apparent, not laws written by deities, but the law of nature, the law that we in these bodies follow, the law of gravity,
I personally think that everything that we read has been tainted with good
and bad.
and bad.
Right.
So when I read that initially, I thought to myself, okay, so this is, because we're talking about the tablets and they came from Thoth, who was Enki's son.
Right.
So Enki, although he wants to let you think that he loves you in a way that is this kind, benevolent love, he actually wants you to control you, to make you serve him.
Yeah.
So there's beauty in here, but I'm sure there's also this taintedness.
Right. But then it's up to
us to decipher
and for us to be able to take from it what we need to take from it. You know, it's like
take what you can get out of it,
right?
Strain what you don't,
and become
need.
that alchemist that you are, to be able to turn what's not so good into something good that will work for you, in my opinion.
Follow thine heart during thy lifetime. Do thou more than is commanded of thee. When thou hast gained riches, follow thou thine heart. For all these are of no avail, if thine heart be weary. Diminish thou not the time of following thine heart. It is abhorred of the soul.
So they that are guided to not astray, but they that are lost cannot find a straight path. If thou go among men, make for thyself, love the beginning and end of the heart. So it's like love everything, the beginning, the end, those that are lost can't not find that straight path.
If one, is that right?
Yeah.
If one cometh unto thee for counsel, let him speak freely, that the thing for which he hath come to may be done. If he hesitates to open his heart to thee, it is because thou, the judge, doeth the wrong.
So it's, to me, I get that it's not a poor student, but a poor teacher. It's the methods that we use to connect, to get our message across, that is what can need to be tweaked so that all ears will listen. Repeat thou not extravagant speech, neither listen thou to it. For it is the utterance of one, not in equilibrium. Speak thou not of it, so that he before thee may know wisdom. So know how to be able to bring the ability of the modulation of the mind to hear that speech so that they can know wisdom.
But, it reminds me when Jesus was teaching and said, do not be like the publican who stands on the city square and says eloquent words, flowing, extravagant speech it's like, don't listen to that, because that's not where it's at. The truth is in the humility. The truth is in the organicness. The truth is in the realness of, being able to communicate.
Right.
And what does communicate mean? Well, to commune means to fellowship with, like with the person that you're talking to.
Exactly.
So I just thought that was interesting. Silence is of great profit. An abundance of speech profiteth nothing. Exalt not thine heart above the children of men, lest it be brought lower than the dust.
If thou be great among men, be honored for knowledge and gentleness. If thou seekest to know the nature of a friend, ask not his companion, but pass a time alone with him, debate with him, testing his heart by his words and his bearing. That's testing his heart, and debate with him. Let's get some of these comments, because I think let's go here. April says, well, okay, she already said that. And
Tracy really started off with.
Okay, go ahead and read it.
Just Ogum alphabet is divided into 4 groups called AICME, AICME. Is this a code for this matrix?
AICME.
AI.
Could be, because you're looking at AI and see me.
I don't know what the Ogum alphabet is. I don't
Right.
know what that is. So
No.
kind of lost me. Many codes, one strong Bible amongst certain sects. I say I'll go with the rule of love, not the rule of law.
Right. And maybe love is the law. You know, if we think about it, maybe the word law could actually mean love, and it's been perverted.
Maybe.
You know, anything's possible, folks. Anything's possible. Okay, so that which goeth into the storehouse must come forth, and the things that are thine must be shared with a friend. Knowledge is regarded by the fool as ignorance, and the things that are profitable are to him hurtful. He liveth in death. It is therefore his food.
The wise man lets his heart overflow, but keeps silent his mouth. O man, list to the voice of wisdom. List to the voice of light.
Mysteries are the cosmos that unveil filled the world with their light. Let he who would be free from the bonds of darkness first divine the material from the immaterial, the fire from the earth. For now ye that has earth descend to earth, so also fire ascends onto fire and becomes one with fire. He who knows the fire that is within himself shall ascend unto the eternal fire and dwell in it eternally. And it's funny because Christians look at the fire as something bad. And here, that's what I'm thinking, law may be love. Fire may be something that is not as we think fire is.
Fire, the inner fire, is the most potent of all force, for it overcometh all things and penetrates to all things of the earth. Man supports himself only on that which resists. So earth must resist man, else he existeth not.
Exactly. That inner fire, that inner chi, you know. All eyes do not see with the same vision, for to one an object appears one from an form and color, and to a different eye of another. So also the infinite fire, changing from color to color, is never the same from day to day. Very interesting.
Thus speak I, Thoth, of my wisdom, for a man is a fire, burning bright through the night, never is quenched in the veil of the darkness, never is quenched by the veil of the night.
Into men's heart I looked by my wisdom, found them not free from the bondage of strife, free from the toils, thy fire, O my brother, let it be buried in the shadow of night.
Hark ye, O man, and list to this wisdom. Where do name and form cease? Only in consciousness, invisible, and infinite force of radiance bright. The forms that ye create by brightening thy vision are truly effects that follow thy cause.
Man is a star bound to a body. Man is a spirit bound to these fleshy suits until in the end he is freed through his strife, through the work that we have to do to free ourselves. Only by struggle and toiling thy utmost shall the star within thee bloom out in new life. He who knows the commencement of all things free is his star from the realm of night. That is, yeah, that rings, you know, it's, you got to free yourself from this, you know.
Remember, O man, that all which exists is only another form of that which exists not. Everything that has being is passed into yet other being, and thou thyself are not an exception.
Yes. Consider.
Awesome, Rex Clark.
Hey,
1111.
Rex. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your generosity and support. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Consider the law, for all is law. Seek not that which is not of the law, for such exists only in the illusion of the senses. Wisdom cometh to all her children, even as they cometh unto wisdom. See, I hear that, and I hear like, you know, there is a law that is out in the universe that follows a certain path in a certain way. Everything, you go out in nature, nature has their laws. And if you don't follow that law of nature when you're out there, you're going to find yourself in trouble. So there is, and then wisdom cometh to all her children, even as they cometh unto wisdom. Her, meaning Mother Earth. I mean, they're deep stuff here.
All through the ages, the light has been hidden. Awake, O man, and be wise. Deep in the mysteries of life have I traveled, seeking and searching for that which is hidden.
List ye, O man, and be wise, for neath the earth crust, in the halls of Amenti, mysteries I saw that are hidden from men. Oft have I journeyed the deep hidden passage, looked on light that is life among men. There neath the flowers of life ever living, search I the heart and the secrets of men. Found I that man is but living in darkness, light of the great fire is hidden within.
Before the lords of hidden Amenti learned I the wisdom I give unto men. Masters are they of the great secret wisdom, brought from the future of infinity's end. 7 are they, the lords of Amenti, overlords they of the children of morning, sons of the cycles, masters of wisdom.
Formed are not they as the children of men? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are the titles of the masters of men. Far from the future, formless yet forming, came they as teachers for the children of men. Live they forever, yet not of the living, bound not to life, and yet free from death. Interesting. It came as teachers for the children of men. Live they forever, yet not of the living. They don't have a spirit within. Like today when we were listening to that thing that they were talking about, how David was told by God, which we know God is not really mother, father. Mm-hmm. God is part of the reptilian, the Anunnaki, the ones that came from the sky, right? That took over and created. They live forever, but they're not of the living. Mm. Very interesting.
Rule they forever with infinite wisdom, bound yet not bound to the dark halls of death. Life they have in them, yet life that is not life. Free from all are the lords of the all.
Forth from them came forth the logos, instruments they of the power are all. Vast is their countenance, yet hidden in smallness, formed by a forming, known yet unknown.
3 holds the key of all hidden magic. Creator he of the halls of the dead, sending forth power, shrouding with darkness, binding the souls of the children of men, sending the darkness, binding the soul force, director of negative to the children of men.
For is he who loses the power, Lord he of life to the children of men. Light is his body, flame in his countenance, freer of souls to the children of men.
7 is he who is Lord of the vastness, master of space, and the key of the times.
8 is he who orders the progress, weights and balances the journey of men. 9 is the father vast he of continents, forming the changing from out of the formless.
Meditate on the symbols I give thee. Keys are they, though hidden from men. Reach ever upward, O soul of the morning. Turn thy thoughts upward to light and to life. Find in the keys of the numbers I bring thee, light on the pathway from life unto life.
Seek ye with wisdom, turn by thy thoughts inward. Close not thy mind to the flower of light. Place in the body of thought form picture. Think of the numbers that lead thee to life.
Clear is the pathway to he who has wisdom. Open the door to the kingdom of light. Pour forth thy flame as a sun of the morning. Shut out the darkness and live in the day.
Take thee, O man, as part of thy being, the 7 who are but are not as they seem. Opened, O man, have I my wisdom. Follow the path in the way I have led. Masters of wisdom, son of the morning light and life to the children of men. This is very deep stuff, very interesting, and I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of things here that I thought were very interesting, and I want you guys to kind of like brainstorm this right here, very important one. Let me put this here. Ooh, it's too much, I think. Just barely high enough. It won't let me. It has a limit, but we'll.
Tracy Roberts says, I've rediscovered this alphabet and it's directional. I think the selfish ones know this code. Thoth may be telling us how to avoid them.
I think so. There's a lot of hidden messages in the Emerald tablets, and it's like you can't read it with your mind. You've got to read it and decipher it in certain ways. So this right here, man is a star bound to a body until in the end he is freed through his strife. Only by struggle and toiling thy utmost shall the star within the bloom of a new life. What does that mean to you guys? He who would know the commencement of all things, free is his star from the realm of night.
Darth is asking a question. Do you believe we in our past life created our current life as a way to help us ascend in code with names and other things?
I believe that, like a tier system, we leave off from one past life and then take with us, even though we don't remember it, but in our DNA, there's some sort of coding. Then when we come into this life, we put it into use, and do I believe that that's the way for us to keep coming back and reincarnated? I don't think so. I think that we could actually bypass all of this and head to where we need to go, which is away from this realm. But there are individuals, darkened deities that want to keep us coming back for their feeding. But do I believe we in our past created our current life? I think we're responsible for a lot of what we do and what we have done. And does it help us ascend? I'm not quite sure. I think you got to do the work in every lifetime that you come in.
We learn a lot from the Hindu religion in India and how they approach life and how they live their lives, because it's not the goal for them to come back in a reincarnated state, even if it is in a better state than they were because they live better. But their goal is something else. It's to transcend this and to find themselves not having to come back here.
Exactly.
So
that's the name of the game.
That's kind of what they hold on to. It's not in like being so good that you get to come back as a king or something.
Yeah, because it's not about, if you really think about it, it's not about the actions that you do, but I think it's about decoding. I think it's about really connecting this DNA. And it's almost like a video game, when you go from level to level to level, but you don't have to do it that way. I think that's like the backwards way of doing it, the harder way of doing it. I think that, isn't that what the Christ came to tell us? Kind of like, hey, you don't have to.
It's almost like, hey, there's something programmed into the code where you could take a back door and get out of here, without having to go through all those levels. Like when I used to play video games, they used to have like these cheat codes that they would allow you to pass certain levels because, you were able to fool the game to thinking that you had already beaten that level or something. Yeah. So you were able to go past something that was stumping you, like in Super Mario or something, right?
Definitely. So Tracy says, man is an asset, plural assets, asset. Man is an asset, yes. And Teen says,
freed through strife reminds me of a seed which needs to struggle to reach the earth's surface and reach the sunlight.
Yes. And AK said, Tracy Roberts, contact me on the other channel. I tell you more what is happening. And CD.
Been reading part of Sun Tzu, sound like the lot what Thoth has been writing.
And I think there are many avatars that have, the Nagamati has a lot of really interesting stuff, the Emerald tablets. there's a lot of written work out there that has similar information, and I believe it's a way of helping us decode what we have to decode. Because to me, this is like a game.
I think also that so many times we think here in the West that, the books that we've been allowed to read or look at and things, that they somehow supersede other ancient writings or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that, we here in the United States, people think, oh, this country, there's so many people I would say, oh, this country is the greatest country,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like the Chinese would have to say no to that because their culture and their history
Mm-hmm.
is thousands of years old. And our little country here
Mm-hmm.
is what, 250, 270
We're
years?
We're babies.
Now
I'm interested in seeing Solis Rex. AK wants Tracy to contact him. Share away, AK. Share away here for all of the tribe to be able to.
Darth is asking, do you think ancient China and Egypt knew the other?
Do I think ancient China and Egypt knew each other? I think there was a lot of communication, even though it didn't have the mail system and they didn't have internet. But if you look at the pyramids that were throughout the world, how did they all have the same kind of structure?
Well, I mean, if they are saying that, here in the United States, in our southwestern deserts, that you can find Hebrew writings, you got to understand that the potential of communication back in those ancient days was a lot more advanced than we would give ourselves to understand. Because I think that things happen where we get to a certain level of technological advancement, and then all of a sudden, oh no, we can't let you guys get any further. You can't build another Tower of Babel, knock them back down again. But I think we've been here before.
This is not our first.
I think Atlantis was like this, or even more advanced.
Way more
than
advanced. I mean, I think we're so far behind. We're like, because remember, every time they keep dumbing us down more and dumbing us down more and dumbing us down more, watering ourselves down to the point where, we're nothing, literally. But for some reason, I believe that even though we're the dumbest down that we could ever be, there are higher selves of us that are going to really help with this transcending of what's going to take place. And Tracy says, Rex, think 3 things in a dual system in balance. 3 things in a dual system in balance.
The third thing has to be a fulcrum or it won't work.
Exactly. Kind of like you have that and then you have the seesaw going like this.
That's why I did that.
Yeah. Interesting. So, I mean, to me, there's something to the emerald tablets. Is it the answer of all? No, I think that puzzle pieces are everywhere, but ultimately it's inside of us. So you take little pieces of this and the other. The alchemist is us, to be able to put things together, to be able to alter and change things so that we could get ourselves out of this mess. Because it's a rescue mission, in my opinion, total rescue mission. And I don't know. I mean, AK, you've got a lot of knowledge. And what do you think about Thoth? Do you feel that Thoth and the Christ are one and the same? Or are they just different players that have been presented to help with the decoding of reality? Yes, Dottie. Yeah, I've felt that before too. So many times I feel like I did this before. It's almost like a deja vu type of thing.
Dottie,
GG.
Yeah, GG is asking, have you both done a discussion about spirits of suicide?
No, we haven't. We've talked about suicide within the trans community, but have not. And that would be an interesting topic. I could look into it and we could talk about or have a segment on it.
One of the things that
if you have anything that you want to share with us regarding that, please email me to transitionradioshow@gmail.com, transitionradioshow@gmail.com. Go ahead.
One of the things that we read now kind of, really made me consider something. Remember, O man, that all which exists is only another form of that which exists not. And that was one thing that, they're saying that there's more dark matter than there is, actual visible matter. So that what I was reading or what we were listening to this morning was saying that, all of these atoms bumping against each other is just this huge illusion. So it's like, remember, oh man, that all which exists is only another form of that which exists not. Everything that has being is passed into yet other being, and thou thyself are not an exception. And I think this is kind of like revealing that we live in a hologram, that we live in an illusion, that we live in a carefully constructed, like 3D game,
exactly,
a virtual reality. And that's what he's saying here.
And then he also says, you're not an exception.
Right.
know? And it's like very telling. So atoms or atoms. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, we look up in the sky and we see Andromeda and we see all these stars and planets. And, that's all that we are these stars and this energy source that have been placed here through, the moon could be like a reflectory type of thing that creates this illusion, and the vibration of this planet and frequency is what creates the illusion of this matter that we've seen before us. But, like that saying says, it exists not. And we're not an exception to all this, And they can say our kung fu is stronger. We don't need codes. Different. Our kung fu. I'm trying to.
Gigi says, thank you. My earthly father, a Vietnam vet, did commit suicide 6 years ago.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, there's, definitely a spirit that would attach itself to people who see such atrocities being committed in front of them, because the human is not supposed to see things like that.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to see dismembered bodies or friends' arms blown apart. Like 1 second they're there and another second their head's gone.
Yeah.
These are things that are like shocks to us as humans and desensitizes us in ways, but also, makes us incapable of becoming emotionally viable, as a species.
And I think where she's going with this, spirits of suicide, maybe when there's been a vulnerability created when someone sees something so horrible or experiences something so horrible, spirits of suicide are drawn to that emotion
like
and go
blood.
in and then wreak havoc, and then the person takes their life, something near that nature.
I know my uncle served in Korea, and he was taken. Lots of Puerto Rican young men were taken to go fight in Korea, and they saw some horrific things. And my uncle never came back the same.
I'm sure.
He came back like completely brainwashed, different person, and for the rest of his life struggled as an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Because, dealing with what he saw and what he had to do was enough to just really taint his spirit. And obviously there was some archon at work.
Yeah.
a demonic entity that would choose to feed off of his negative
and
emotion
takes
and
residence.
pain.
It takes residence in that body and wreaks havoc pretty much. Gail says, more people have passed than live on earth now. The influence is great on our souls. Unfortunately, many of these souls are extremely misguided, if not malevolent. Definitely.
I mean, prior to the New Testament being written and people seeing it, and literally that didn't happen till like 300 AD or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The people of the Bible times, they had an Old Testament, and their Old Testament never said that people were going to heaven, that they were going to be in some pearly gates or walking on streets of gold. I mean,
Right.
None of that was ever even mentioned. It was said that when they did die, they believed that they were put into a holding pattern, like in a place of like a middle, like under the ground, under the earth, and a holding place. So, I mean, these are things that they're pretty recent, these misconceptions of our eternity and where we go when we die and all that stuff. So these things, I believe, are greater, have a greater understanding among the ancient cultures, where deceased souls go. And, the Chinese believe in, the spirits are still walking around, of deceased loved ones, there's just so much more of an understanding. And what Christianity has attempted to do is to put on a lid over all of that and classify all of that, even talking about it, as demonic and evil.
So Rex says, so true. That's why I don't watch horror movies or other BS, not healthy. Yeah, because it does impact your psyche. It really does. And as much as one tries to be balanced while one is watching this, it does get to you. And he says unbalanced energy is what Jeff Daughtry calls it.
And Darth says, was born in Vietnam. All I ever hear in my home is war.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Vietnam was just atrocity. I mean, there was no reason for that war to have taken place. AK says, Mark, you will be informed, but at the moment it's too risky. And Gail says,
those movies can help releasing buried emotions. Don't push it down and tell yourself it's just a movie. Face off the emotion. And that, honestly, that was something that I learned from watching the movie Halloween the other day.
She doesn't. I don't mind watching horror films. I'm used to it. My mom used to make me sit there and watch zombie movies with her and scary movies. So I grew up watching all that. There are some movies like, what was that, Saving Private Ryan? That war movie really got to me. I felt it in my core. Certain movies, was it the Bird Box the other day? That also, like, it changed. It's just like certain things do make me feel certain things. I could control it and it doesn't affect me, but I feel it, intensely. And let's see here, those movies.
Gail says a holding dimension, that's the place, an opportunity to choose healing.
Yeah. It's, you take an emotion, what is it? My famous saying, own it, feel it, and then let it go. Oh, no, observe it. What is the way?
You say feel it, own it,
then let it go. Yeah. And Gigi says, Darth Van, my dad said it was a beautiful place and he didn't understand the reason for war there. It was like what they're doing now with Iraq and what they want to do with Venezuela, which I believe is going to be their next Vietnam. There's always, what do this country want? What resources do they want to take from that country? And they find every excuse in the book to go in there and create a base and to take over. I find it like a cancer that just wants to invade everything,
That's really sad because, if you guys were to read some of the stuff that a historian named Howard Zinn has published, talking about the gross overstepping that the American empire has imposed on on this world for, I mean, ever since its inception. You know, the concept of the Monroe Doctrine, which basically stated that Latin America was the property of the United States, basically that they had every right to the resources of any Latin American country. It's basically what it said, you know, or the concept of manifest destiny, where, you know, Americans were just pushing west all the way until they got to the Pacific Ocean. And that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. They had to go to Hawaii and take over that country.
It's like a virus. It just spreads, you know, and it wants to.
They had to take over your country.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you still have a base in Cuba, Guantanamo, that, you know, something got worked out, you know, where even if Castro was in power, it was still, you know, they didn't kick the Americans out.
Mm-mm.
So there's something
They're still
else
there.
going
And
on.
then what are they doing there? What's the use, you know? Gigi says a really weird, scary movie. IMO is a children movie, Coraline. I refuse my grandchildren to watch it in my home. I don't like gory, blood-filled, senseless killing. You know,
No.
The movies I watch have to have some sort of storyline behind it. You know, but it's just endless killing and just human torture.
Yeah.
It's and Tracy says,
Well, Darth says, understand how naive Americans stand now. I'm not where you're at. I don't know where you're at.
Tracy says, I've already read Gigi.
Oh, Darth, I worked with Bao. He lives in Vietnam. He described it as a wonderful place. That's how I think of it now. Vietnam is a tropical paradise, you know, fruit and, you know, all kinds of wonderful
Just like
natural
Thailand.
resources.
Just like Thailand. There's a lot of raw vegans and vegans that moved to Thailand because
and
they
the
get
people are beautiful, beautiful souls.
Yeah,
You
peaceful.
know, I mean, all they wanted was to be able to have peace in their land,
Yeah.
you know.
A lot of Buddhism, you know, in that region. And Tracy says, a virus creating by destroying whatever they find until it's something new. Exactly. Hey, Ask Lucid, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, people celebrate even Columbus Day, and he was a real effort. And the people he ran with, they don't mention this part in our history books.
No, not at all.
No, they don't. And we, Mark and I both take it very personally that this murderer is commemorated, you know. And I remember growing up hearing about, oh, Columbus sailed the ocean blue and he was such a good guy and he discovered America. And then as I got older, I realized, oh, wait, he didn't discover America. He only bumped into, you know, Dominican Republic, Cuba, and Puerto Rico. He never even set foot in North America, you know, and then what he did to the Tainos, you know, what he did to a people who basically would have given him the world that they had. You know, I mean, there were some of the kindest, most gentle people that, you know, our ancestors, that's who they are. And for us to realize that, you know, this Italian crazy man decided to wipe them all out almost.
But, you know, there's a lot of things that happens, and for every bad thing that happens, something good takes place. I think the lesson for us all and everyone, I mean, because everyone's still holding on, and I'm not saying that you are, but I'm talking about in general, everybody's still holding on to pain, to old injuries, to old things that we have had to deal with. And we continue to fester that energy. And until we've learned how to forgive one another, forgive ourselves, and start anew, we're going to continue in that vicious cycle of war, hatred, revenge. You know, it never stops. So now's the time for us all to make peace with our past, to make peace with ourselves, to make peace with each other. Let bygones be bygones. Start anew. I mean, I think that every hurt person wants to hurt someone else, and that vicious cycle never ends. And that's what the archons want. They want us to be revengeful and hateful and angry and fearful, and we need to learn how to let go of all of that. And that's, it's taken me a while to understand that, but the more I awaken every day that passed by, I become a little bit wiser and a little more understanding of the things and why things happen. And I think that's an important thing for us all to do. And let's see here. Whoa.
Darth says, grew up believing that America was the country and the best country or something in the world, then started thinking for myself.
Exactly. And I remember, like, back in the day before you're fully awakened, you used to also believe that America, and I would tell you, no, America is this, that, and then finally you started to see. But again, America has played a role. This is a production. They've done what they've needed to do. We're all players in this. We're all doing our job exactly how we're supposed to. And the grand finale, we're all going to take a bow and say, yes, great production, everyone. We've all played, a massive role in all that. And yeah, they've dumbed us down in school. They're like, a pledge allegiance to them, and made us feel like, and there are people this day that would have our heads blown if they hear us talk like this because they're patriotic. How dare you? Or the famous line, go back to your country. I would if my country hadn't been messed up with everything that happened, but we can't live in that. We can't continue to live in that cycle of hatred, of being angry and frustrated and wanting revenge because it doesn't solve anything. It just continues to feed the archons.
I'm just amazed at how little we were taught. It's like in school, and it was like I went to a Christian school, and I was taught even less truth, because I was told that Columbus was a good man.
Yeah, that's what they taught us.
That he was like promoting Christianity, and he wanted to convert the heathen Indians. I mean, it's like, so.
Gail says,
The Exorcism?
Yeah.
What?
Right here, I have it on the thing.
Oh, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, a good movie for emotional processing.
I got so freaked out with The Exorcist. I couldn't sleep for months. I swear I kept seeing my bed move. I used to be, not anymore, but there was something with me because I used to have a Ouija board back in the day when I was younger. The guy that sexually molested me actually gave it to me as a gift. And any kind of movie that dealt with possession would always scare me. And I would always see spirits from the time I was little. Constantly. I would hear like the spirits talking. So when I saw that movie, it just like really freaked me out. Didn't really like it. And Rex says, lies are abundant. Be thankful that you overcame it all. Great shows like this are helping us all. Thank you, all of us. Thank you so much, Rex. And we enjoy your presence and your support and contribution. And we appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. Heartbreaking, says Ask Lucid. No good and amazing how much history is fabricated and rewritten. We are responsible for ourselves, and that's how we heal and move forward in truth.
Definitely. And Teen says, looks to me like the Emerald Tablets would be a welcome replacement for the Bible. I've gotten all I could from the traditional Bible. Yeah. I think it's important for us to allow ourselves to be exposed to different readings, different things. So I think it's all a little bit here and there that's going to help us with a full awakening to reconnect our DNAs.
Gigi for Truth says, indeed, brother, at Rex Clark, thanks to the Cummings' ability to communicate.
Thank you, Gigi, for watching, for being part of his family.
And Rex says, yep, Teen Eldridge, the Bible is silly. All mixed up, too. Emerald Tablets and other books, much better. You got it.
Definitely. All the answers are within. Keep it simple. Embrace you. Your divinity is special. That is definitely very true. Because we could read and we could gather, but ultimately, the kingdom lies within us. Not outside of us, not above, not under, not outside, inside of us. Totally.
And she said it said the RPG to end all games, huh?
Yeah.
Darth says, not sure if my life would be better in Vietnam or in America.
It all depends. I mean, for me, I'd be happy with a very simple life that where I get to find fruit, organic fruits and vegetables, and just be one with Mother Earth, the beautiful creatures that roam the earth, and create a beautiful family, a tribe. That's there's too much politics, too much commotion. The United States is, in my opinion, Babylon. Everything's about buying this and buying that, and I am so anti all of that. It's like
I just don't know how Darth deals with Minnesota.
Oh, cold weather.
Being from Vietnam.
I know, because it's very humid and hot in Vietnam, is it not? I've never
It's
been.
very tropical.
Yeah, I've never been to Vietnam.
And Minnesota's not.
And this is, yes, very true. I believe we are in virtual reality, says Tracy. Definitely, the Matrix.
And Rex says, where are people more positive, Darth? That is the spot.
Yes. And Gail says, we've got to face the fear. Yes, we do. We definitely have to face the fear.
And Rex says, I'm moving back west soon. The sun is so helpful to me. The lack of sun in the east is just too much.
Yeah, and New York is it has such a thick energy. And I don't want to judge it. I'm just going to call it a thick energy. I've been in New York several times to do several talk shows back in the day. It's
but he lives in upstate.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a different place. It's just cold and it's always cloudy.
Yes, too much to deal with. I hear you. Sun and warmth is definitely very important. And Gail says, logically, movies can't hurt us, but the fear definitely can. And I think not only the fear, I think the emotion that it causes within us. Because remember, we're all about vibration and frequency. So whatever frequency is being exposed to your network, okay, you're going to feel it. And that's what's going to affect you. It's not so much, the action is whatever that action resonates within and creates the vibration that might bring you into a lower level of anxiety, depression, anger, fear. We need things that are going to elevate our vibration.
Tracy says, echoes you. Yeah, it just says, freak me out too.
That movie I threw my Ouija board away after watching that thing. I was like, oh my God, never again. It was just like crazy stuff. And Gigi said, I used to have tarot cards by, Mr. Crowley. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to label anything bad, but certain things may have connection to dark things. And it's almost like opening an invitation, a portal to let bad things in, and we don't want to mess with that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah.
Teen says, one scripture that's good, where two or more agree as touching any one thing, all things are possible. We can make and be the change we want.
Exactly, Teen. Totally. Exactly. And Dottie's got to leave us. Good night, loves. Thank you, Mark and Linda. Love you all so much. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. We're getting ready to end it with the manifestation moment. Just trying to read some more comments.
It says, LOL, want to talk about the power of the mind. We are very powerful. I will explain further how I exercise some of this when I talk to you guys on video chat or email.
Yes, and please email me because I want to have a private phone conversation. But email me so then you could either give you our number or you could give us ours and we could set that up. And Teen says, I love the warmth of the light of the sun. So do I. I am definitely a sun baby. I love the sun. Darth says, Rias in America from age 1. Raised in America from age 1. Wow. Yeah, you send me pictures of you. Beautiful family. Yes. Gail, what lies within, though, that's the answer. We can all be put to sleep with our desires to only feel good. Lies within, that's the answer. Yep. Definitely.
Demons are hard to control, AK says to Gigi. Better not to play with.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to, I've been exposed to a lot since I was a kid. I've seen a lot of dark spirit, shadow people. I lived in a house that it was so possessed. I'd be watching TV and I would see them run. I would be in the mirror and I would see them and I look back, they'd be gone. that would walk in my room, but I always had a sense of protection, but I wouldn't want to piss any of them off, because there's no need, there's really no need for that. I always try to keep a sense of protection and not give them any reason to get too close. And I lived in Vegas, San Diego, and LA, and now I'm not sure why I moved back east. I can't wait to go back. I hear you, Rex. I hear you. AK, I no longer have them many years ago. No longer have what? Good night. Demons. Yeah. Nebraska, USA, says teen. Night, Dottie. Right, it's Gerald Clark. We had Gerald on the show. He was great. I'm trying to see if I know they're busy right now with their little thing, but I'd like to have his wife on the show and talk a little bit about healthy living and veganism and all that stuff. Hey, Phoenix! She was watching in the background. As always, beautiful show. Much love. Good night, Thoth. I figured that out 8 years ago. I moved on. Big hugs. Bad mood. Too much love here to bring down tonight. Ooh. Sending you lots of healing and love. Get rid of that bad mood. Mwah. Let's do a little manifestation moment here so we can get rid of that. Can you do that for me while I do all this other stuff? It's on, and let's see here. It's still on. Okay, well. Whoa. Right. Gosh, another great time. Oops, why is it doing that? Great time spending with you guys. Let us create a new path to our balance and awareness. Let's find reasons or motives that will help us or help you regain the spark you have lost from childhood. Beautiful times, the innocence, right? Everything was taken care of for us. Do you remember the glee you felt when you were younger? That happiness, that bliss, the time you were outside playing with your friends, how time seemed to pass without a care in the world. Every time we heard mom say, "Hey, come inside, dinner's ready," you're like, "Oh man, I'm having so much fun." Engaging in play, doing what children do, that innocence, to have that innocence back again. As adults, we tend to lose that imagination, the innocence we had, stripped away from us. What happened? How did we lose it? If we could only go back in time and gather those feelings and thoughts and place it in our here and in our now. Take those feelings, those memories, relive them, cherish them, make them part of you again. You guys remember the Ice Cream Man? Oh, that sweet music and that lovely truck that we waited for so desperately day after day. The many wonderful memories and feelings we felt. The smell in the air, so pure and crisp. Can you remember and imagine those days? I want you to go there, bring that memory in. A game of hopscotch, playing catch with our dad. Gosh, to bring those days back, huh? Our first kiss. You remember that? The first time we drove a car. Ooh. So many first and wonderful memories. What did we do with them? Where did those memories go? Are they stored in a special place? Somewhere deep? Can you access them now? Are you ready to learn how to activate your happy place? Memories serve a wonderful purpose for our library of life. That's what we're here to do, to make memories, not to collect things, but to collect memories and experiences. Whenever we're down, accessing memories that will bring us joy is a beautiful tool to change our moods and way of thinking. Have you ever thought of doing that? That is the best antidepressant ever. No need for drugs, no need for alcohol, no need to go shopping to make you feel good. Access those beautiful memories. That's why you created them. That's why we came down here for. Run that movie in your head. Instead of reaching for comfort food or engaging in bad behavior, take a ride into memory lane. Engage in practical visualization and learn to change your moods and thoughts. You are the master of your universe. Stay in line with Mother Father's love and intent for your life, and you will soon be able to be free from the ills of this world. You can do this. I know you can. It is all up to you. You are the master of your universe, and you are part of Mother and Father. Creator gods, sons and daughter of the absolute and the divine, the time is now. Namaste. It was wonderful. It's like, we never really, really use that. It's like we pop a pill, we take a drug, we drink, we eat, we engage in behavior that's not conducive, instead of like tapping in, running that film in our mind. That's part of visualization, recreating those beautiful feelings that we've already experienced. And then we know that it worked because it makes us feel good. Mm-hmm. And it brings us into the right vibration. And that's how we change our cells. And that's how we change our DNA, one wonderful memory at a time.
So Phoenix is leaving us and says, never think you do not understand this, because you do. Waking up slow is best. Good night, all.
Good night, Phoenix. And I hope your mood improves. I am so sorry that you're not feeling well, that you feel that something around you, inside you, is not balanced right now, but know that you are loved. And I know that you know that everything's going to be all right.
Rex says, this show is so uplifting. I always feel great being here.
Thank you, Rex. Appreciate you. Appreciate your support, your presence, your energy, because every single one of us is important to make this happen. It's a little piece of a puzzle, and we all have to connect these puzzle pieces together.
And Darth says, late spring and early fall are my favorite seasons.
Yes. Winter, we could just do without winter for all I know. I've never really liked it. I've learned to adapt to it since living here in Silver City, but, warm Hawaii or even Florida. Florida's weather, except for when it gets too humid and too rainy, but pretty much.
Gigi says, I'll take a push-up pop.
There you go. My favorite, I used to like the little sandwiches, or that rocket that had all the different colors. Yeah. You like that one too, the rocket?
Well, it's called a big stick.
Yeah.
Actually.
And then I also used to like the one that had the gum underneath, because after you're finished eating your ice cream, you can still chew.
I like the good old traditional popsicle.
Yeah.
A cherry popsicle.
That's right. I usually like the rocket.
Or an orange sickle.
And it was so cheap back then.
I know.
Even cheaper with me, because I'm 6 years older than you. So I'm sure that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's probably cheaper. Because, as years go.
25 cents versus 10.
Yeah. Something like that. So what else we got here? Late spring and early, never thinking. Okay, much love. You are just fine. Pain makes for cranky. Oh gosh, yeah, it can. It can when something gets. It's like that annoying kid in the room. Look at me, look at me. So when you have pain, it's like that constant need for attention. It's like, stop hurting me already.
Rex said, stay positive through life, and we can inspire others to do the same.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about. Definitely. It's a heartache. I or nothing fixes. One day soon, though. I just wait. But some days I wonder why I still wait. I'm fine. Your love, Phoenix. We need you to be strong. You know, we're all holding up these pillars that want to come crumbling down. We need to find that strength somewhere, somehow.
Yep.
And you are strong, my friend. You are very strong. A lot of people rely on you. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Bubble O'Bill. Who's Bubble O'Bill?
I guess some ice cream.
Oh, Bubble O'Bill.
With,
okay.
Maybe.
Well, Gail's in Australia, so they might have different names for the Australian ice cream. I still love that little music. You know, you're like, oh, the ice cream man, come on, mom, give me money.
I heard some pretty sinister things about that song, though.
Yeah, I'm sure. But we didn't know that. We only knew that when that little music, you had to rush and get money, and all the kids would run, and it's like, you could barely reach up. You know, you're like going like this, and the guy's trying to bend over, and yeah, memories, beautiful memories. And that's what we've got to go by. We can't just focus on the negative, you know. I think that is the best antidepressant ever, is beautiful memories. And
I thought it was ice cream.
No, no, but, you know, at the time, I didn't know any better. You know, they fed me all the junk in the world. I was chubs. I went from being a very skinny child. Literally, I was like this. All of a sudden, they got worried, and they started pumping me with vitamin B12. And it was like, come, eating. You know, it's like, gosh, don't feed me so much. Queenie, my kid going through chemo, and I am a pillar that holds strong, so I know others can do it. Keep up the strength. Yes, Queenie, definitely. Wow. Definitely. It's, you know, some of us are really faced with difficult situations, but, you know, you're strong. You're strong. You would not be given this path if you were not. You know, mother, father is by your side. They love you. And sometimes we have to be faced with very difficult things. The reason at the moment we don't know, but there's always a reason behind it. And your son's very lucky to have you for a parent. And your love means the world to him. And he looks up to you for strength. So you're doing a great job. We all thank you for what you're doing.
And we love you.
Yes.
And we stand with you. And, you know, we just wanted to embrace you and just to let you know that you're loved.
Totally.
Anytime you want to vent or say anything, you know, definitely feel free to reach out to us. And, you know, we would love to help in any way that we can.
And Tracy says, Phoenix, we're coming together. Agree it is slow. I understand. Tab low. Thank you. And Phoenix says, yes, Queenie, much love to you as a mom and healing for your child. Wow, 8 years old. 8 years old. Can be rough, can be tough. You know, it's sometimes we ask why. The answers don't come quick enough. But sometimes there's no words to say. You know, all we can say is we love you. We send healing thoughts to you and to your little one. It's a very special person. You know, they have a lot of light, very smart, very loving. They make you smile and laugh a lot. Because even though they're sick, you think you're being strong for them, but they're also being very strong for you. And Prudy Carter. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining, for sharing a little part of you here with us. Lucy, what's her name? Lucid. What's the name again? I can't find
Ask.
it. Lucid Ask.
Ask Lucid.
Yeah, Ask Lucid. Remember to email so we could have a chat on the phone or, you know, whatever way you want, phone or Skype or my phone, better. But so I know the power of mind can keep you going. Yes, totally. We're very powerful. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we are not aware of the abilities that we have because we've been so dumbed down. But once we stop, accepting those truths as lies and we realize who we really are, then there's no stopping us. Shalom, Darth. Shalom. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Rex. Thank you, Queenie. Thank you, She Said, Pheonix, Tracy. Let's see here. Gigi, AK, Teen. Did I mention Rex? Thank you, Rex, for your support. AK, Darth, Gail. Help me out here. Who else? All of you, my gosh, every single one of you. You know who you are. You're special, so very special to us in every way. I'll be on tomorrow. I usually have a show at 9:30, but I have to go from the rehab to the doctor that does my shoulder. So probably won't have a show tomorrow till like probably 10:15, 10:30 in the morning. Sharing a lot of what I'm writing now with the cancer coding system and getting into more of the gender confusion and understanding and trying to help people work through a lot of their hurt with other forms of therapy versus the typical that's out there. Also, you guys could feel free to call in. I had 2 callers this morning. I had Fifth World and I also had Scott calling in. So looking forward to being here again with you guys in the morning after my doctor's appointment. Thank you, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end the show with a song called Open Your Eyes. And make sure that this is on. Okay, so I'm going to go here and share the screen. I think I'm getting the hang of this. And we're going to do a full screen. And, well, let me say good night, guys. We love you. And remember to always love yourselves, too. Lots of love and healing thoughts and beautiful manifestation to all of you. Sweet dreams. And remember when you're dreaming to play in your dreams.
We love you, Queenie.
We love you.
And your little one.
Yes.
Well, anyway, love you guys. And always remember to love yourselves too. I hope you enjoy the song that I've attached. Take care. Much love.
Much younger look version of me there.
Look around you, it's so clear, mess of things throughout the years. War and famine, name a few, in the name of freedom, boy, they lie to you. Building weapons to take control, placing our troops throughout the world, it's wrong. Open your eyes to the truth, my friend. We've been living a life for many years on end. There'll be no tomorrow unless we bring them to these lies. All the confusion that's been going on, it's been part of the plan to destroy us all. We don't have much time when we're nearing the end of it all. It's hard to understand, but our history has been a total sham. We have much bloodshed on our hands. This land is cursed. How can we pretend? The spreading of virus and the forced vaccine is not something new. They've done this before. Population control is their goal. Don't be so naive. Don't open your doors. Open your hearts to the truth, my friends. We've been no tomorrow unless we bring an end to these lies. All the confusion that's been going on has been part of the plan to destroy us all. Have much time, we're nearing the end of it all. Senseless killing with no purpose, our ruthless leaders, they kill in vain. Why do we let them run our minds? We are not killers, there's no need to fight. The few that believe in death and destruction shall rule our thoughts, control our actions. It's wrong. Open your eyes to the truth, my friend, and we've been living a lie for many years on end. There will be no tomorrow unless we bring an end to these lies. All the confusion that's been going on has been part of the plan to destroy us all. We don't have much time, we're getting near the end of it all. We don't have much time, nearing the end of it all. How many must die? How many more? Or for those men with ideas, wanting to control everything around us. We're not that way, we program our minds, we need to escape and stop being the puppets. Come on people, let's wake up and know the truth. It's right before your eyes. No more lies, no more lies. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Hey guys,